the team from Grenada. Number 3, Mr. James. Number 5, Mr. John. Number 7, the captain, Mr. Nimrod. Number 8, Mr. Lewis. Number 9, Mr. Williams. Number 10, Mr. Williams. Number 11, Mr. St. John. Number 15, Mr. Charles. Number 21, Mr. James. Number 23, Mr. Regis. Number 24, Mr. Fox. And number 25, Mr. Lafwell. The head coach is Mr. Joseph, and the assistant coach is Mr. Elkoff. Assistant coach number 2 is Mr. Christopher. And now, the players of Saint Lucia. Number 4, Mr. Dennis. Number 5, Mr. Liscoris. Number 6, Mr. August. Number 7, Mr. Sean Baptiste. Number 8, Mr. Polis. Number 9, Mr. Alex. Number 10, Mr. Domerfield. Number 11, Mr. Lewison. Number 12, Mr. Prefield. Number 13, Mr. Shepard. Number 14, Mr. Paul. And number 15, Mr. Galderon. The coach is Mr. John. The assistant coach is Mr. Damon. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthems. We start with the anthem of Grenada. The national anthem of Saint Lucia. game are the crew chief, Mr. Roberto Fernandez, umpire 1, Mrs. Jennifer Hackett, umpire 2, Mrs. Bobet Ogaro. And the commissioner for this game is Mr. Frederick Brown.
How many balls do you have? 2?
Minimum, but I don't know.
Just 1?
For injury.
Oh, you have 5? Oh, okay.
Yes, it's for injury. It's minimum. You see? For me, it's no problem for me, but yes, it's good. I consulted by bus. Yeah.
I'm gone. I'll see you later.
Ready to go.
Keone Wright and Dion Brunings here, set to get things underway on day 3 of the 2021 FIBA AmeriCup pre-qualifiers. A little more than 12 hours ago, the Grenada team out there in the red and yellow put on a very brave performance against the home team, Suriname. They lost by 2 points at the buzzer. It was an absolute barn burner. Here they are now, looking to get their first victory of this tournament. They will take on a Saint Lucia team that had yesterday off. Both of these teams, what they have in common is that they have lost to the home team, the host nation, Suriname. Saint Lucia, I think it was just, I don't know if it was the first game of the tournament. Maybe they did some uncharacteristic things, but they fell behind early and struggled to come back. But they do have very good players in their team. A player to watch out for them is Yandel Dennis, their point guard. He's very stable. He's a good floor leader. He's very mature, and he can get to the basket quickly. For Grenada, though, a lot of players last night had breakout games, one of them being Williams, number 9, who, with 2 seconds left to play, drew a foul while he was shooting a three-pointer and then ice cold knocked down all 3 free throws to tie the game. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough as Gillen Watamaleo for Suriname hit a last-second shot. It's a tough way to lose.
But big pressure free throws. I thought actually the free throws were more, I can't say more impressive as a Surinamese guy, but they were almost even as impressive as the shot that Gillen took. There are 3 free throws under pressure, home court. The home crowd is yelling at you, and he scored all 3 free throws. Somebody to watch out for is exactly the number 9, John Williams, who scored 23 points against Suriname and 13 against Guyana.
Yeah, he was red hot. And to put it to you simply, Grenada was in control of that game for most of the time. They had Suriname back on their heels. Suriname was very fortunate to pull out and win that one. And there's a nice basket there by number 15, Calderon. Other players to watch for here on Grenada are their big people. They've got Regis. He's got the ball right now, quickly swings it to Nimrod. Then they have another big player, Lefebvre, who comes off the bench. I think it'll be interesting to see how Grenada manages their big men, Calderon and Paul. So this should be an old-fashioned derby. I expect really high competition. Both teams looking to get their first wins in this tournament. And again, let's see how Grenada responds to losing an absolute heartbreaker last night. But Dion, like I've said before, today is a new day. Nice pass there by Nimrod. Tries to find St. John. Williams inside, little runner. That's no good. He still looks fresh, even though he played his heart out last night. Here's Dennis, looks up. Nice finish there by Dermerville. This is what St. Lucia can do to you. Head up basketball the whole time.
To take a quick overview of what the situation is in Pool A. So we have 5 teams in Pool A, including Saint Lucia and Grenada, who can't get a basket to fall right now. Guyana and Suriname have played 1-2, so they're on the first and second place. St. Vincent lost yesterday to Guyana, another heartbreaker, double overtime. So they're in third place. St. Lucia and Grenada, they both lost their first match. So that's the situation in a Pool A. Guyana and Suriname on top. St. Vincent, St. Lucia and Grenada all have played one and lost one.
And St. Lucia right now jumps out to a 4-0 lead. They try to get the ball inside to Regis. He is so dangerous. Good job there by the big people for St. Lucia. And Dion, I want to see a little down-low battle. That's what I want to see. Calderon is big, Regis is big and very skilled.
I think you're gonna get one.
Dermerville, nice interior pass. Nice little entry pass there. Good job by Calderon to finish. And the battle is on here. Both of these teams looking for their first win in this tournament. Here's Cox, he can hang, draws contact, gets it back, loses it. A little bit sloppy. Williams into the lane, watch out for him. St. John takes it short. Rebound to Preville.
St. Lucia looks like they're very, very, very well rested. They played a tough match against Suriname. Had a lot of turnovers, 36 turnovers. And today they look like a whole new team. All rested up as Dennis plays it in to Calderon.
Keep going to the well, baby. They keep looking inside. Calderon can't hit. Nice try there by Polius. He's always active, gets the ball back. Can't hit the fadeaway jumper. Here's Nimrod, back the other way, finds Williams. And what St. Lucia is doing a fantastic job of, which Suriname did not do last night, is clog up the middle. They're not allowing Williams to get in there and hang like he likes to. I think he's gonna have to settle for jump shots tonight. He and Cox. Maybe St. Lucia bails them out there with a foul.
Yeah, St. Lucia has a lot of big bodies inside as well, as you look at Calderon and Polius.
Like I said, it's a tough draw to play the home team on your first game. And I don't think St. Lucia had an opportunity to really scout out Suriname. But that's what's so great about a tournament. You don't need to look back 2 years at YouTube videos. You just need to come to the games at night. And I think they've seen enough of Grenada to put together a nice scouting report. And they're executing that right now. Nimrod, pull-up jumper. That's no good. Regis, active on the boards, inside. Draws the foul. That'll be on Calderon.
They're having a much tougher job inside than they got yesterday against Suriname. Calderon and Polius, big presence inside as Regis goes to the free throw line. You did the first match of St. Lucia as well, right?
Yes, I did. Yes, they played against Suriname.
What was your impression about
I just think that they were still trying to put things together. I think they have very good players. Like I said, it's a tough draw to get the home team, and the Suriname fans were really into that one. And I just got the feeling that they fell behind early and struggled to come back. They're just trying to find themselves. They look like they put some oil in the tank here, and they'll be okay.
Meanwhile, Grenada played their first match against Guyana.
Guyana's looking real good. They hung tough last night with a very mature St. Vincent and the Grenadines team. Up off the bench now for St. Lucia is Paul, another big body. Calderon skies for the rebound. Finds Yandel. You got to watch out for him. So mature. Great little pass there over to John Baptiste, and he finishes. Great court vision there from Yandel. One of my players to watch here for St. Lucia. St. Lucia with a lot of defensive intensity right now. Williams trying to break this zone. They come down to double team Regis. That's what you need to do. He can't finish. Yandel comes down with it. He had Dermerville out front. Instead, it's Jean-Baptiste. He falls. Nice hands there by Calderon, but can't finish. Second attempt is good. 8-0 is your score.
There's 6 points for Marcian Calderon. And it's a 10-point lead. Grenada can get a basket to fall right now.
Cox from the outside. Good job by St. Lucia, forcing players that like to drive the lane to take jump shots. And Grenada, like we said, they are not on fresh legs right now. Force them to shoot jumpers. Again, inside to Calderon. Keep going to the well, but that gets knocked away.
Recovered. And that's going to be a travel call on number 8 from St. Lucia, which is Joel Polius.
Tough luck there for St. Lucia, but I like what they're doing. You know, it's amazing in modern basketball, teams with big people, they go away from going inside so much. We saw it with Antigua yesterday. They have the players to play in the interior post, but instead they like to shoot three-pointers. And shooting three-pointers is a lot like having a couple glasses of wine. Because after you hit a couple three-pointers, all of a sudden you think you're a three-point shooter, when you're maybe better off just getting in the lane, developing a lead through hard work and good entry passes. I like what St. Lucia is doing right now.
Of course, the best way to go is a mix of both, right?
Yeah, you got to mix it up. You can't be one-dimensional. And what we're seeing here is a team that last night had their way getting to the basket in Grenada. They're going to be forced to shoot jump shots right now, and they're not on fresh legs. Last night, Williams did a fantastic job of shooting. Nimrod came up and hit a couple. Different players hit different jump shots. But their primary aim when they're on the floor is to get to the basket, hang, create contact, and finish. And right now, St. Lucia has not allowed them to do that.
Ten-point lead for St. Lucia. Grenada has yet to score in this game.
Charles and Lefele into the game right now for Grenada. When Grenada goes to their bench, particularly with their post players, they do not lose a thing. Just because Regis is out, it doesn't mean anything. He'll take a breather and come back in. Lefele is very active, and Charles might be a member of a SWAT team in Grenada. I'm not sure. He likes to block shots. There's Lefele. Great court awareness, and St. Lucia doesn't put a body on him.
And Grenada's off the mark. Their bench need to come and bail them out. Is Lefele, who scores Grenada's first basket. Back to Calderon, the well, you called him.
Calderon, a little high-low action there with Jean-Baptiste. He can't finish. Charles is there. Calderon tracks it down. I like what St. Lucia's doing here. They didn't do this a whole lot against Suriname. They have their big people, Calderon and Paul, in the game. That's number 15 and number 14. So we've got some twin tower action. Let's see if Grenada puts Regis back in the game so that he can work in tandem with Lefele, their version of the twin towers.
But Charles isn't especially small, though.
No, he's not. Williams.
Williams for three.
No hesitation. Make the defense think. Good ball movement there by Grenada.
Elmon Williams is off the mark. Jean-Baptiste.
Jean-Baptiste looking inside. That's a tough angle, especially when the player is fronted. He's a little bit late. Williams hangs in the air, can't finish. Lefele flies in, can't corral it. Jean-Baptiste on the floor, nice hustle.
And there St. Lucia comes.
Dermerville will slow things up. I like the patience mixed with intensity. Here's Yandel, that's short.
Jonathan Williams, nice bounce pass. Oh!
And we'll get a goaltend. So 2 in a row here for Williams. He's been very active. And we will get a timeout. Keone Wright and Dion Brunings calling this game. Day 3, Game 1, 2021. AmeriCup Pre-Qualifiers. We'll be back after this timeout. Let's see what St. Lucia can do here out of the timeout. I think the the moral of the story in that last time out for St. Lucia was don't play too much one-on-one basketball. Try to move it around.
As they play it back into Calderon. Big body inside. And Calderon forces his way through. A lot of patience, a lot of composure. Nice play by Calderon. 8 points for him.
Somehow kept his pivot foot. A lot of up fakes. A lot of other players would have traveled. Skip pass, finds James. You got to watch out for this guy. He's heat off the bench. Nice little pass to Williams. He continues to be the answer for Grenada. Unexpected offense, maybe. Not one of their key players.
No, but it's in the name. Normally it's another Williams who does the job. Jonathan Williams. But Elman Williams now has 7 points for Grenada. And they're back into the game. Dennis.
And that's what Dennis does so well. He sees it opening, he takes it, he keeps the defense guessing, hangs in the air, and draws the foul. But somehow, some way, Grenada has crept back into this thing, and now they're only down by 3 with 3:09 left to play in the first quarter. Into the game now is Alsif. Out of the game is Calderon, a well-deserved rest. At the free throw line is Dennis.
Calderon taking a breather with 8 points, leads all scorers, and Dennis goes to the line for maybe his first points of the game.
A guy you probably don't want to put on the free throw line. Come on, do me a favor, Dennis. Both teams need to do a better job of boxing out. In 7 minutes of play, both teams have given up 5 offensive rebounds.
1 of 2 for Dennis. 4-point game. James. Back to John. To the hot hand, Williams. And rebound by Paul.
Dennis looking up. He's got Alsif. Can't hit. Got to hit those if you want to win this game. Charles comes out with the rebound. Here's James. Lafayette, he's been quiet. Good patience here, working against the zone. Williams again, draws contact. Ooh. And that one rims out. This is the thing about tournament basketball, Dion, is that you cannot count on the guys that played well for you last night. You cannot simply expect or assume that they're going to come in the next day or the next morning and just play exactly like they did. I like what Williams is doing. He's stepping up.
Yeah, it's a tournament. It's going to be a long tournament.
We've still got 5 more days left, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what day it is.
And you can't have one player.
I thought it was November 15th this morning. That's how late my night was last night.
Yeah,
Absolute fireworks and a lot of credit to this Grenada team. That's a heartbreaking loss. And the more I think about it, the more I think that they were really in control that entire game, even when they fell behind.
Yeah, exactly. They got a good break. They fouled Jonathan Williams, a 3-point shooter. Not the smartest play. And he was at the line. Hit three free throws. As James takes a 3-pointer, is good.
And that's what he does. Instant energy off the bench. He's a very mature player. You see him, he's very patient. He knows what he wants to do against the zone. Force them to come out at you.
And just like that, Grenada takes the lead after being down 10-0.
Shepard gets a shooter's touch. Did a good job there to flash high in the high post. Good recognition by Jean-Baptiste to get him the ball where he likes it. Williams again wide open. No good.
Rebound Paul. Dennis setting up the offense.
St. Lucia lucky that he missed that shot. An adjustment they need to make is watch him. And Yandel, and 1.
Yandel Dennis seeing the open lane, attacks the rim. And off the glass, gets a chance to make a 3-point play for St. Lucia.
Yandel Dennis is one of those players that's just triple C the whole time. Cool, calm, and collected. And as a point guard, that's what you want to be. He's not super flashy, but a couple dribbles, and there he is to the basket. That free throw is good. Don't let him get started at the free throw line. He'll be replaced by Dermerville, who is usually his partner in crime. Jay Williams gives over to John. Dermerville comes up. Williams can't handle the pass, and they don't call a backcourt violation. It's actually stolen there by Alsif. Nice defense. Here's Dermerville. Long three-pointer. Can't get that to go. I don't know about that shot selection. Nice hustle there by Williams to try to save it in, but he stepped out of bounds. It'll be white ball. Alsif to inbound to Dermerville. 1:15 left to play here in the first quarter.
Drummerfield lays it off. It's going to be John Baptiste with the ball. Drummerfield gets it back. Try to play Paul in, but that's a turnover as Grenada comes. Regis.
You can't make that pass. You can't make that pass when the defense already knows it's coming. He was already double teamed, he was fronted, and he had help behind him. It's all about timing. Regis tries to put it up, he hits the floor. No call there. It'll be Grenada ball out of bounds. And Grenada is struggling to get Regis involved in the game.
Yes, as I was gonna say, it was a big difference between this game. There's a big difference between this game and yesterday. The big bodies of Saint Lucia giving Regis a tough time.
You also got to do the big guy a favor, give it to him where he likes it. But you're right, he is having trouble getting position down there against Calderon and Paul. Here's James. He's not afraid. Fadeaway jump shot. No good. Paul skies up for the rebound. Alsif not paying attention. Maybe he's thinking about dinner tonight.
Drummerfield plays into Paul. Long pass back to Drummerfield. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Drummerfield back to Paul. With his left hand. Nice touch by Paul.
I'm glad he did that. The first time he got the ball down low, he hesitated a little bit when he had position. Big guy like that, you get the ball, you know you've got it. Little power dribble, pivot inside. Here's Regis, immediately double teamed, and he is struggling tonight. I had a fan last night stop me and say, hey man, did you see that number 23 for Grenada? I said, yeah. He said, man, I think there's some G League scouts that are scouting him out. So he has drawn attention. Oh my! Oh. What a shot by Dermerville. Daggers at the end of the first quarter. 23-14 is your score. That's a big shot. Saint Lucia extends their lead. And now to continue my wonderful story from last night. It appears as though Regis has maybe garnered some attention from professional scouts that are here. Good for him. Let's see if he can get involved in the game.
Because, of course, the scouts are also looking at how you're going to play under pressure, and there's getting big pressure by Calderon and Paul. So that's a process, I think.
For Saint Lucia, if the well keeps giving you water, keep bringing your bucket to it. For Calderon and Paul, they're doing a fantastic job, no hesitation. I love that old-fashioned game. You don't need to spread the floor all the time. And what's interesting is St. Lucia doesn't really spread the floor. They play more of a traditional game with traditional bigs, but Yandel still gets in the lane with no problem. He doesn't need a whole lot of room.
And of course, it makes spreading the floor a lot easier if your big guys are playing a big game inside. Drawing a lot of attention inside, gives the shooters a lot more open looks. I'm liking what I'm seeing from St. Lucia today.
A totally different team from day one, where, like I said, it's the first day of the tournament. The St. Lucia coach told me, look, we haven't been able to scout the Suriname team. You're on Suriname's home floor. The fans are really into it.
Thanks, man.
Sometimes it's just tough to get going, but they lived to fight another day, and they come out here and they're executing. It should be a good second quarter.
And another thing, Suriname was really hot that first quarter against St. Lucia. All their shots were getting fell, so it's hard to play your first match and the host team is that hot.
Yeah, they really didn't have an answer for Suriname in that game, but they are playing very well here against Grenada. And let's not forget, Grenada is not out of this thing. Only down by 9. And maybe some of their weapons just need to warm up a little bit. Here's Williams.
One of those weapons. Nice pass.
I would have liked to have seen him take that shot. Here's James. Over to Williams. Nice jump shot. Just can't get going right now. That first take by Williams, I would have liked to have seen him take that shot. He was right there. Dermerville with the jump stop. James pokes it away. Here comes Williams back the other way. A little bit out of control. Finds James. Wide open three-point shot. Rims out. Regis tries to keep it alive. Alsif gets it over to Dermerville.
And Dermerville takes his time setting up the offense. Plays it to Alice.
Trying to look inside. Good post defense there by the smaller St. John. He did exactly the right thing. He fronted down low. Grenada needs more of that.
Grenada coming out of this timeout, it's not a timeout,
the break
with a lot more energy. They just need to execute on offense. Beautiful pass.
And that's the big problem right there. In the previous play, St. John did a great job of fronting. You don't have to be 6'9", 240 to front a player. If you're smaller, you just got to work harder. But you cannot allow a player like Paul to catch the ball that deep inside. Nobody was there to help. Nobody tried to front. We'll have a mass substitution here. Lafayette comes in, Cox, and James for Grenada. So we're going to get a little bit of the Twin Tower action here between Regis and Lafayette.
As John scores his free throw, John has 7 points. Cox.
And Grenada desperately needs to get them involved. I want to see them do some high-low. Good job by Lafayette there. Finds the open James. Paul tracks it down. You have to like the composure by St. Lucia. They will not be rattled. Over the top. Good hands by Paul. Can't finish. Regis with the rebound. Here comes Grenada back the other way. Let's see if they do a little high-low here with Regis and Lafayette.
James to Williams. Jonathan Williams plays it into Lafayette.
Here we go. This might be it. Nice little jump shot. That's what they need, a clean look. And out of nowhere, follows his own shot is Regis. Don't get him started.
Nice play by Regis. He knew exactly what he needed to do after he took the shot. And a big rebound, big offensive rebound. That's what you need to get yourself going.
Thought to get hit, no good. Here comes Grenada. Shifting gears as Cox hangs in the air, can't finish.
Wild shot by Cox, a lot of speed, no control. And Dermerville back on the other side.
Yeah, don't sacrifice your control for speed. Cox probably could have laid off the gas there just a little bit. Dermerville, Paul again. Hand in the face from Lafayette. Can't hit the shot, maybe not his forte. James along the baseline forces it. Good no call by the official there.
Alice 3 against 1. And gets it to go. It was all alone with 4 defenders.
Confident move by Alsif. St. Lucia continues to have the lead here. 28-16, 7-12 left to play in the first half. Nice little tip pass outside by Regis. Strong take by James.
Oh, big move by James.
And now Grenada is starting to feel their oats just a little bit. Don't let them get started. They're a young team with a lot of energy, and we will get a mass substitution here. But first, we will get a timeout. And Dion, you know I like to talk about body language. Some of the smiles and the loose mannerisms of St. Lucia from the first quarter seem not to be there anymore.
Yeah, I think the energy that Grenada brought to the second quarter gave them a bit of a scare. I don't know if scare is the exact correct word to use.
I think it's making them think a little bit more.
Yeah. They need to think about their game right now. The energy that Grenada brought to the second quarter was impressive, But no problems for Saint Lucia about now. They're still in front with 10 points, but it's a good timeout by the coach of Saint Lucia. Like you said yesterday, it's all about momentum. You don't want to let them get involved in this game. Let them get the momentum in this second quarter. Because if one of Regis, James, and Williams gets it to go, you're going to have another ball game.
Yeah, you see Grenada playing with a lot more intensity right now. That is their game. They're a very intense team, and they've got the speed in the backcourt to handle it. And then when you add the athleticism of guys like Lefebvre and Regis, they're a dangerous team. Can they pull it together here with 6:50 left to play? There's Williams, finally gets one to go. Nice take. And now his eyes are wide open. He's starting to see those gaps. He's starting to see where he can elevate. Dennis with it, guarded by James. Gets it over to Shepard. They try to go inside.
Dennis back.
Little high-low action. With
4 seconds on the shot clock. Dennis for the shot. Misses. Rebound Grenada. There they go.
Here comes Williams. Cleared for takeoff. Watch out. Nice take there by Williams.
And you said it. Eyes wide open. Jonathan Williams starting to attack. Scored the last 2 buckets of Grenada. And what's St. Lucia's answer going to be?
They need to go back inside, but the defensive intensity right now, nice little high-low from Polius, and he's blocked by Charles.
Whew.
He said, let me take that, thank you very much. James, that would have been nice. Interesting call there. It looked like Calderon was just trying to box out, but instead he'll be called for the loose ball foul.
Yeah, I got a bit caught up with Charles.
Caught up is right.
And it's Grenada ball to James.
A lot more patience. There's James. Lots of contact. Good call by the official. A little bit late, but he definitely got hit. And Calderon did not establish himself. That's a tough move there by James.
Yeah.
Put the head down, put the shoulder down. Let's go into a brick wall. And he'll go to the free throw line. I really like what I'm seeing from Grenada right now. They have awoken.
Trying to fight themselves back in the game. Of course, they had a tough match yesterday and they didn't have a lot of time to recover. So that takes some time to get back into rhythm.
That's one of the luxuries of being young. When you're as young as some of these guys, 2 things are true. No hangovers, and you can play the next day on only about 4 hours of sleep.
Yes.
The steady hand of Dennis, calling for a motion offense. Trying to get his team to extend their lead. Nice defense by Charles. And he just won't quit working. He's got his work boots on today.
Yeah, again. Was a force yesterday as well. Got himself to the free throw line a lot.
Calderon lucky to catch this deep inside. Charles affects it again, but he can't get over there.
Ball
that
fell
was
to Pre-Phil, who knew exactly what to do with that close to the basket.
Here's Williams trying to find Charles.
Back
Rewards
to
the
James.
big man.
Cox pulls up. 3-pointer is good.
Wow. Pretty shot by Cox.
Whew.
Confidence.
Yeah, that's called kot net in Suriname. Cox stole the ball, gets it back. 3 against 2. Cox to Williams. Little finger roll is no good. And rebound is for Dennis.
Here's the problem right now for St. Lucia. They're trying to force the ball inside. Oh, nice cut there by Calderon. He remains active, and he draws the foul. Up until that moment, St. Lucia was trying to force the offense a little bit. Swing it around the perimeter. Let your big people set screens. Somebody will be open. A couple times there, they tried to force it in, and that's where Grenada comes in with the quick hands, and they're off the other way. But on this last play, a great cut by Calderon. He's so composed, and he'll go to the free throw line. 30-27 is your score. 4:24 left to play in the first half. Back in the game is James for Grenada.
Grenada much more active inside in this second quarter. Not especially boxing out, but a lot of active hands inside.
And when you're lacking size, stick to what you do best.
Which is?
Don't try to be 6'8". Don't try to be 6'9".
No, you can't teach that.
Try to be 6'2" and go for it. Try to be 6'2" and active. And that's what they're doing right now. Flying up the floor. Second free throw, no good. Polius can't reel it in. Here's James. Doesn't have numbers. Cox thinks about it. Gives to James. Wide open. Good look at it. Can't knock it down.
Hit a three-pointer from the same spot on the other side. But he couldn't get that one to go. Prevail. Gets it inside. Nice feed inside to Polius, who gets his first 2 points of the game.
That's great hands from Polius and the ability to finish. Threw that one up over his shoulder, but he was in control the whole time. Here's Charles. Nice little give off to Regis. Watch out. That's blocked by Polius. Cox, that's short. Calderon grabs the rebound. Polius again gets position. Baby hook. That was pretty. No good.
Regis brings it down. Calms down. Gives it to the other James with a floater. Nice floater by James.
He is so composed. He's so good. He knows what he can do. When he comes into the game, he just does it.
5 points for Gary James.
A leader by example.
Nice ball movement by Saint Lucia. Gets it to Calderon. No room for Calderon to work. As fast as that, there were 3 Grenada jerseys surrounding Calderon.
Charles got a hand on that one. He's a little bit upset with himself for not keeping the ball in bounds. But he continues to play great defense. He goes to the bench.
Rebound, Gary James. In trouble, threw it away, and Calderon finds Dennis again. St. Lucia got numbers, but took a bad shot. There Grenada comes to James. For 3, it's good.
Every single time. There's no change in his shot. When he knows he needs to shoot it, he does. He's got great mechanics, too. Can't talk enough about that. Gary James keeping his team in this game, only down by 1. Polius flashes high. Back out to Dennis. No good. And St. Lucia has gone cold here. 2:18 left to play in the first half.
1 point lead for St. Lucia. James plays it back to Cox. You're gonna try it one more time. James sticks it up this time. No good.
I like the confidence from James. I think maybe it's a time now. You know, Cox and James, they're controlling a lot of the ball movement right now. It's kind of like the Cox and James show. I'd like to see some screen set down low, maybe some more movement to get other players open. And maybe those 2 players can recognize the open players for Grenada, and they can start to be a little bit more dynamic. But still, you have to appreciate the confidence for this team. They do a lot of good things in transition. They need to do some good things in their half-court offense.
Dennis gets it back. Polius couldn't get that one to go. It's John who's setting up the offense for Grenada. James drives to the hoop. Back to John.
Nice little up fake there by John. Ooh, Gary James, uncharacteristic bad pass. But Grenada will get bailed out by St. Lucia. Dermerville aggressive, but a little bit too aggressive. 1:22 left to play in the first half. The 2021 FIBA AmeriCup Pre-Qualifiers, the top 2 teams from this tournament, move on to the AmeriCup qualifier, which will be hashed out in a home and away series in September. And we've got the Twin Towers in right now for St. Lucia, Calderon and Paul. That's surprising to me, though, because the issue has not been the interior play for Grenada. The issue has been their outside shooting. And here's a guy, almost gets the shooter's roll. Gary James, got a good look at it. Maybe a heat check for him.
What's Polius' role is going to be in this Twin Tower situation?
Here's Polius' role. He's the high energy guy. He's like your Dennis Rodman. He's going to clean up the scraps. He's got a lot of energy, and he gets off the floor very well.
And with these two big guys inside, he's going to be like a small forward.
Yeah.
And here he goes. Can he shoot? He can. Three-pointer for Polius.
I was wondering why he was hanging out outside the three-point line. We didn't see him take any three-point shots in the first game of the week that Saint Lucia played, but he answered my question there. That's
exactly.
A risky pass to St. John, especially in there amongst the trees. Dennis comes away with it. Nice little Euro step. Oh, he's so good at that. He is so good at that.
Pretty move by Dennis. And the lead's back up to 6.
I love Dennis's mentality. He doesn't need to razzle-dazzle. You know, that's great for maybe YouTube highlights. Here he comes, cleared for takeoff. He lays it up and in. And like I said, he doesn't need to razzle-dazzle. He just gets to the basket and scores. And at the end of the day, that's the name of the game. Can you put the ball in the hoop? And he certainly can.
He has 8 points. And that's the end of this first half. It's been an exciting first half.
A very exciting first half. Good job by St. Lucia to go into halftime with momentum. Grenada, though, they woke up in this second quarter. Watch out for them. Their athletes are awake now.
We're going to take a break and we'll be back for the second half between Grenada and St. Lucia in this very exciting game on day 3. See you soon.
Keone Wright and Dion Brunings back here with you live from Paramaribo, Suriname. It's day 3, game 1 of the 2021 FIBA AmeriCup pre-qualifiers. This game between Grenada and Saint Lucia. Right now, Saint Lucia in control, 39-31. They had a kind of an up and down first half. Great first quarter, struggled a little bit in the second quarter. Grenada, though, Dion, they have awakened.
Especially in the second quarter, coming out flying out of the blocks. And let's see what they're going to do at the start of this third quarter. As Regis gets the ball in the post.
Williams hangs and can't hit. Here's Dermerville, going to go one-on-one. Watch out! Blocked.
Get it out of here. Still complaining that it was contact.
Get that out of here. Good job, though, by Dennis to reel it in.
Yeah,
Dennis
he's all
is gonna
confused.
Be so key. Dennis is going to be so key in this half to set the tempo and just keep everybody calm on St. Lucia to keep this lead. They're up by 8 right now.
But what a block, man. Whew.
Cox says you got to get up to get down. Watch out for Regis. That's a great way to start the second half for him. He struggled a lot in the first half. I wouldn't say he struggled. I would say Grenada just struggled to get him the ball where he needs it.
Yeah, and he's getting a lot of attention of both big men of St. Lucia. They recognize who was the threat yesterday against Suriname.
Inside the Calderon, active hands by Williams, knocks it away. But Prevo comes up with it. Williams thinks about it, gives it to Lefebvre. Nice move there. So the Twin Towers for Grenada off to a great start in this half.
4 points for Lefebvre. Dennis.
Prevo, nice little flash high. They try to go high-low with Polius. Here comes Williams, cleared for takeoff. Hangs and finishes with the left hand. That's pretty stuff there from Williams.
Nice, using the bucket as protection, so he couldn't be blocked. Nice ball by Williams.
Here's Dennis with it, trying to calm down his troops. Calderon keeps flashing high. I'd like to see him down low. Dermerville, wild shot. That's no good. Here's Williams. He's got the other Williams. Nice patience here by Grenada. Over to Cox, thinks about it, drives baseline, hangs in the air, can't finish. That might have been blocked by Calderon.
Nice leap by Cox, though.
Oh, he can get up there.
As Williams misses a three-pointer. Rebound, Dennis sets the offense up, takes his time. And they need to get a good look.
Yeah, that'll be key. They need to be patient here, run their offense. Again, Calderon flashes high, try to go high-low with Polius. Doesn't work once again. Get the big man down low. I think he and Polius need to switch roles there. Cox finds Lefebvre, does well to catch that one. Contact in the lane, no good. Everyone fighting for it. Here's Regis, watch out! And he hangs on the rim. Let me grab it and throw it down. I've been waiting for that for about 3 days now.
Waiting for the dunk from Regis.
Let me show you how to score. And quickly into the game is Paul. I got to give a lot of credit right now to Regis and Lefebvre. They weren't big rebounders in the first half. They come in here on fire. They're catching the ball where they need to, and then they're competing on the offensive glass.
That's another thing the halftime does with you. You got some time to think it over. Get some information from your coaches. And they came with another plan. The second quarter, they came in with intensity. This quarter, they come in with some kind of plan, trying to get Regis involved in this second half.
Regis along the baseline, back out to Williams. Nice crossover dribble. Gives back out to Cox. Clean look at it. Just misses. And Regis, man, he just wants to be up by that rim, but there he gets called for an over the back. So it looks like it was a very meditative, reflective halftime for Grenada. Great job by the coaches and players to make adjustments. Great job by Regis not to think he's out of this one. It's a new day, it's a new half. Regis and Lefebvre come ready to play here.
And the lead's down to 2 points.
Dermerville can't get that one to go. Here's Cox. Loses the handle. Dennis got a hand on it. Grenada gets it back.
Cox gets it back, but lost it again. Calm down, boy.
Yeah, calm down. That's a situation where after you get the ball back, if you're Cox, take a minute and compose yourself. No need to try to keep your dribble there. Let's do a little bit of a body language assessment here. For Grenada, they're talking on defense. They're very active. Their legs look fresh, even though we know they're probably not. For Saint Lucia, they're kind of walking a little bit. Some guys hunched over. Here's Williams. He's got a trailer, hangs in the air and finishes.
Oh, pretty move by Williams. Hangs in the air and finds the layup off the glass. Nice ball by Williams.
Now here's what you have to do if you're Saint Lucia. You've got to pick up Williams before he catches that ball in stride, as Paul tries to force that one inside. Not the best option. Tried to go to Jean-Baptiste.
Ooh.
And amidst all the chaos, all the thunder dunks, we've got a tie basketball game right now.
Good job by Grenada. Starting off this second half, they were down by 8 points. Tied this game up.
So now if you're Grenada, you've tied the game. Now you need to switch your focus to taking control of the game. But that's going to be very difficult against this St. Lucia team, which very much like their point guard, like we said, they are cool, they are calm, and they are collected. And they will come out of this timeout looking to run their offense. One thing is for sure, with this coach from St. Lucia, every timeout that they have, every word that he speaks, they are words that they need to listen to. They're meaningful. He doesn't waste any time, and these players are not looking to waste time. All of them are focused in that huddle. I expect them to come out and execute.
Grenada have led with 1 point, so even though they've come back a couple of times, they haven't really got their noses in front in this game. No. Maybe this will be the point where Grenada can come up big. Because this second half, the second quarter, they came out flying with a lot of energy.
Yes.
This half is not a lot of energy, but they're much more efficient.
Yeah, much more composed. Regis working inside. Wow, that was a great shot. Can't get it to fall. Regis didn't know if he wanted to finish with the left or the right. And when you have his athleticism, you could literally hang in the air and think about it for a minute. The key, though, is not to overthink it.
That's Regis' third foul in the game. With 5 minutes and 39 seconds left in this third quarter. So he needs to get out.
This is where St. Lucia needs to take advantage of the smaller post players, as St. John and Charles are in the game. But a great job there by St. John, and there he's not paying attention. But if we go back to the defensive play by St. John, like I said, you don't have to be 6'9", 250 to play post defense.
But they got active hands in there.
Active hands, no into front. Also a good job by Charles to be there in the help position. Dennis with it. They really need the ball in his hands. Dermerville thinks about it. Nice job there to hang, tries to draw contact, no call. Good outlet pass from St. John. Here's Williams. You got to come up and find him. Too much room. Great job by Dennis to swat that away.
Nice move by Dennis. Got a piece of the ball.
Yeah, he was late to finding Williams.
Good rebound by Paul.
Paul with the offensive rebound. Charles will be called with the over-the-back foul there. The game is still tied at 41. And if you're Charles, just trust that you're in the right position defensively instead of reaching over the back to try to slap that ball away. It's going to be a foul every time. Jean-Baptiste out to Dennis. Drives inside. Kick out to Preville. That's good. He's come up with a couple of those plays in this game. He had a nice layup there in the first half where he kind of ducked in behind the defense. He's one of those players that you might forget about, but he shows up when you need him. And right now, St. Lucia with a 2-point lead. And there's
Ball
Prevost
back
with
to
a steal.
Dennis. Gets it
to
back.
Prevost.
Dennis.
Nice job by Dennis. He's flexing on him. Grown man stuff inside from Dennis.
Working it, man, working it. 10 points for Dennis. Leads the scorers for Saint Lucia. Actually leads all scorers. Good rebound by Charles, but couldn't control the ball. Dennis.
Nice competition. Dennis
Saint Lucia has numbers, and Dennis finishes off by himself.
So beautiful. So absolutely beautiful. He just knows what he wants to do. Great composure there. Grenada has been silent. Here's Williams for three, and we will get a foul away from the ball. Timeout for Saint Lucia here.
And that's a good thing for Dennis. Dennis was asking for a sub for 2 minutes, and he gets 1 minute off. And courtesy to Grenada, as Grenada takes a timeout.
The way Dennis is playing right now, he deserves to have his own personal waitress. Bring him a bottle of Gatorade every time he runs up and down the floor. For Grenada, though, I had high expectations this half. I was very optimistic, but they come out a little bit flat here with 3:33 left to play as St. Lucia back in control by 6.
Yes, at that timeout that you spoke about, the coach of St. Lucia was very wise in saying, giving the instructions what to do. What changed for St. Lucia after that timeout?
I think that that's the whole point of a timeout. It's not just to get players rest. It's to give strategy. Look at it from the point of view of a boxer. You go to your corner in between rounds. You do go there to take a seat a little bit, grab some water, but you also go there to talk about strategy. It's not a very long time, but if you have your ears open, you can really affect the fight. It's the same thing in basketball. You've got 30 seconds, maybe a minute to talk it over, then you're back on the court, and then it's time to execute.
And of course, it's that momentum thing. A timeout does something with the momentum of both teams.
Very much so. Dermerville tries to grab it. Good defense here by St. Lucia. I like the intensity. It's over to Williams. John's got it.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Williams is going to put it up. It's a three-pointer for Williams.
Bingo, bango. And he has done that throughout this game. Unexpected offense from a player that was maybe quiet the first 2 days of the tournament.
He ain't quiet today. He has 12 points, leading the scorers of Grenada. Shepard.
They're really trying to look inside. I like the post defense. That's not a great pass. Somehow Paul comes away with it. Better defense by Lafayette. St. John the other way, and he loses it. That was not a good pass. The defense saw that coming from 15,000 miles away. My grandmother didn't need her glasses to see that one.
John Baptiste.
Dermerville again, and I think you need to talk to him a little bit about his shot selection if you're St. Lucia. You're up by 6, you're not up by 20. Williams inside, finds John, had a look at it, decides to give to the other Williams. Back to John.
For the tie, it's good. Pretty shot by John, and we're all square.
That'll be a long two-pointer actually, Dion.
Oh man.
St. Lucia still up by 1, but I like the ball movement from Grenada. Very aggressive, little inside, outside. Keep the defense thinking. Dermerville again, this time baseline. He'll meet Lafayette and somehow gets it up over the hand of Lafayette. But you got to turn around if you're St. Lucia.
3-point game with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left in this third quarter. John, we had a foot on the line. It gives a good pass to Lafayette, but Lafayette pushed Shepard.
That's too bad because I don't know if the push was necessary to catch that ball. A good look.
And Dennis got his 2-minute breather. Comes back in.
Right now. Here's the issue right now, Dion. St. Lucia runs their offense. Yeah, they're looking for openings, but Grenada does not impact the offense or how St. Lucia tries to run their offense. The defense of Grenada does not dictate how St. Lucia runs their offense. For Grenada, They are simply taking what St. Lucia will give them. If St. Lucia doesn't give it to them, they don't have it. They need to run an offense right now. They need to swing the ball. They need to be a little more assertive. Nice screen by Lefebvre.
And John gets it to fall.
Good job by John to use the screen. That was a solid screen by Lefebvre. Jean-Baptiste over to Dennis. Nice ball movement.
Foot on the line. Louison stepped out of bounds. 4-point game.
Maybe he needs a smaller shoe. Either that or know where you are on the court. Right idea, though. Way to be aggressive by Louison.
Lyndall James back in the game. 4 points on the night. Passes it to Gary James, who almost lost it. And eventually, ball is stolen by St. Lucia. Dennis pushes it up, gets it back. Louison, Dennis all open. Nice ball movement. They're rewarded by a big three-pointer by Dennis.
And he looks up to the heavens because that play was biblical for St. Lucia. Wide open, and Dennis is feeling it.
Gary James trying to answer. Almost does.
Ball rims out, clean look at it. They need somebody to catch fire. Dennis is absolutely feeling it right now.
Gets it back. Of course, he takes the three-pointer. That one's no good.
A little bit of a heat check. Grenada needs some answers right now with 15 seconds left to play. They need to manage this clock and come away with a basket. John for three. Bad shot.
Bad management.
Numbers for St. Lucia. Risky bounce pass picked off by John. Two
seconds left.
St. John, nice dribble, can't get it off.
That's gonna be it for the third quarter. 7-point lead for St. Lucia as Grenada came back, tied the game, but find themselves behind again, yet again. 7-point lead for St. Lucia. We'll be right back. Saint Lucia in this first game on day 3. Grenada starting off each quarter very well. Let's see what Grenada's gonna do in this fourth quarter.
This thing is not over, Dion. 10 minutes left to play, anything can happen. Grenada can easily catch fire, and right on cue, it's Cox. He's played well, maybe a little bit silent on the offensive end, but he's always a threat.
And that's his second three-pointer of the day.
There he is again, very active. Louison.
That's a long two-pointer.
Splish splash for Lewison.
Good net.
Gary James still out there for Grenada. Cox drives, keeps his dribble alive. Out to John. I like the movement here for Grenada. Nice take by John. And all three of the guards, the primary guards for Grenada, can just hang in the air, maybe read a book, maybe get some coffee, maybe make a phone call to their girlfriends, and then just kiss it right up off the glass. Very impressive.
Yeah, they got some hang time.
Here comes Cox, watch out. Wow, bumps the bigger player, can't finish though.
Good offensive bound.
Another three-pointer for Cox on its way, that's no good. And Lafayette with a bad foul there. Went over the back when he just didn't have position to catch that rebound. Still though, good things for Grenada. And they're not a team that gets down on themselves.
No.
They continue to fight with a lot of energy.
But a challenge for Grenada is keeping this level up throughout the quarter. Every quarter they've been starting very well, but as the quarter progresses, their level of play goes down. So what are they going to do in this fourth quarter?
Well, here's my quarterly body language report, is that Dennis is very winded right now. Yeah, he's got a lot of energy with the ball in his hands, but if you watch him without it, he's huffing and puffing a little bit. The man has played very hard. Several other players look to be a little bit winded also for Saint Lucia. Not to take anything away from them, but if you look at Grenada, they're not huffing and puffing. And here they are off to the races. Regis, watch out. And he'll go to the free throw line. And Saint Lucia wants to take a timeout here. A very wise timeout, as you talked about, Dion.
Yeah, and Grenada are flying when they get out of the quarters. St. Lucia has been doing a very good job when they come out of their timeouts. So if Regis scores these two free throws, it's a 2-point game, and St. Lucia is going to talk it over. Regis, 6 points in the game. His first trip to the free throw line, scores his first.
Neither team shooting particularly well from the three-point line right now. St. Lucia, 28.57%. For Grenada, 20.83. But that will not deter Grenada from shooting. Polius checks into the game, an injection of pace and energy, or at least they hope so. If they can get him going, this will be a good sign for St. Lucia.
I haven't seen Calderon in a while.
No, I haven't seen him either. But Paul is out there, and they're very interchangeable. I think they're going to save Calderon here for maybe the last 5 minutes. Here's Cox. Throws it down. Tomahawk slam.
That boy can go up. Dennis.
He almost hit his head on the shot clock. I've got to question the shot selection there by Lewison. Not in rhythm, nobody really back. The bigger issue is that nobody on St. Lucia really saw that he was going to shoot that. I think everyone expected that, that they were going to work it around the horn.
Game's tied, 57-57. Ball in the hands of Cox. John.
You want to talk about a momentum shifter? How about you jump up in the air and throw it down? That's a momentum shifter, and that's what Cox just did. Tricky pass by John. Maybe the timing was off. Right idea, though. Good cut by Lafayette.
9 seconds on the shot clock. James goes out. Their top scorer the previous 2 matches, Jonathan Williams, comes back in.
Watch out for Jay Will. We've also got Calderon coming into the game.
A lot of bigs. Oh, he comes in for...
Comes in for Paul. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they're going to try to run that Twin Tower game a little bit later in this fourth quarter. Maybe that's wise. Here's Cox.
1 second left.
That is a play that we should store in our little data bank, in our memory bank, because we might come back to that play later on in this game, particularly if Grenada loses by 2 points. You have to be aware
of the shot clock. Bad awareness by Grenada. And they need to set up their defense. They need to be very careful here with Dennis. And it's a hard fall.
That's a hard foul. Lefebvre goes hard to the floor. He's going to be slow to get up, but he will get up. On the floor right now for St. Lucia is Dennis. He says, I'm good. I'm just taking a breather. So if you look at that last play, here's something that Grenada throughout the tournament can improve upon. When you're a young team with so much energy, you tend to fall for ball fakes. And St. Lucia has gotten Grenada up off their feet with every single ball fake, and it was very apparent there in that last play. It created openings, got people off their feet, and Dennis just drove around and drew the foul. Excuse me, Preville drew the foul.
St. Lucia got Dennis out of the game. Dennis wasn't really happy about that. Coach being a bit concerned if he's winded.
Nice composed free throw there by Preville.
7 points for Preville in this match. He's going to take his second free throw. And that one's good.
Those are very important free throws. St. Lucia with a 2-point lead right now. Regis with it, looking to break this half-court press. Risky pass, back in the hands of Regis. Ducks into Lefebvre. Good composure, Regis flies. Tries to stuff it, can't. Second chance opportunities. Good fight by Regis. Lefebvre a little disappointed with himself for missing that one. We get 2 shots for Regis. He's a good free throw shooter. And that's the mentality that I love. We've seen so much in this game. We saw with Antigua. I don't mean to pick on them, but they had open layups. They were skilled enough to be able to dunk it, but instead they tried to lay it up, and they ended up missing. They tried to make it much more difficult than they needed to. Try to throw the ball down.
If you're up there.
Exactly. And do it with authority.
And you call it a momentum changer.
Yes.
The dunk of Cox a couple of minutes ago gave new energy to Grenada.
Yes, it did.
And they're down by just 1 point. Four for 4 from the free throw line is Regis.
And that's a part of his game that maybe we haven't focused on, but he is clutch from the free throw line. And in a close game like this, everything matters. Turnovers, free throws. Dermerville inside. Nice little runner. And he gets it to go. That gets Dennis fired up. So this is where we might go from odd numbers to even numbers.
If he gets this free throw, of course, it'll be a 3-point play for Drummerfield. Nice move by Drummerfield. Risky player.
Yeah,
takes a lot of tough shots.
If he watches the video tonight, which I'm sure he will with the rest of his team, one of the things he needs to look at maybe is his shot selection. Like you saw there, he's fantastic at going to the basket, but sometimes he settles for those long 3-pointers.
10 points for Drummerfield. Pressure on Cox.
Better defensive pressure here by St. Lucia. They will not make this easy for Grenada. Williams no good from the corner. So we've got Polius and Calderon inside for St. Lucia, patrolling the middle. Lewison with it, not a primary ball handler, but he gets it up over half court, maybe picks up his dribble in a bad spot, finds Dennis.
Into the safe hands of Dennis, and Dennis gonna set this offense up. Gives it to Calderon, far from the basket. That's a foul.
Here's what I like about that play by Calderon. He caught the ball. He made sure he had it. He turned. He had his elbows out. He faced the defense. And the only option for Williams from behind or John from behind was to slap it away and commit the foul. So important to turn and face the defense. Don't do the defense any favors. Be strong with the basketball. Good job there by Calderon. Lewison, good pass.
Grenada very active inside. Out of bounds, step on the line. There are 3 seconds on the shot clock. It's going to be an inbound pass by Drummerfield.
Nothing easy for St. Lucia with this Grenada defense. Oh, nice steal by Cox. Here we go again. Flushes it down with 2, and he almost hit his head on the rim there. Great defense by Cox to anticipate the pass in a crucial situation. Dermerville again for 3. That's what I mean.
Cox goes way up high to get that rebound. Above Calderon, above his post players.
This Grenada team is on springs. Cox can also handle the basketball. So many times you see young players, they're just content with being guys that can leap. For Cox, he can handle the basketball and he can do it at full speed. A lot of attributes that any college coach or any professional coach watching would really probably love to have on their basketball team.
Yeah, it's a combination of both, right?
Yeah, the great combination. And what I also like about him is that he's not just content with using those skills on the offensive end. He uses his speed to anticipate passes and pick them off.
How did Cox play yesterday?
He played well. He was a threat. He was somebody that Suriname really had to watch. I don't think if my memory serves me correctly, he didn't really get started until the second half. But, you know, Suriname had to watch him. If you left him alone, he's a lot like Williams. They get into the lane, they hang in the air, and they're not deterred by anybody's defense. They hang in the air and they finish.
Grenada needing to play a whole nother game today against Saint Lucia compared to yesterday.
Yeah, a much different game. You know, this is what you have to love about sports. Whether it's the international level or it's youth basketball, it doesn't matter.
It's a game.
It's a game, but these are the moments that teach you a lot about life. You lose a heartbreaker last night. You go back to your hotel. There's no time to sulk. There's some time to analyze it, but there's no time to get down on yourself. You wake up the next morning a stronger man, and this Grenada team has shown that today. You have to give them a lot of credit.
John, 13 seconds on the shot clock, 5 minutes and 13 seconds left. Grenada have not led by a long time. And Charles puts them in front. Grenada leading by 1 point.
Great job by Williams there to challenge the defense, and he finds Charles. Dermerville with it. Here's Dennis. They really need to keep the ball in his hands. Polius gets a rare shot at it, does well to keep it. Finds Dennis. That was a nice pass. Dennis along the baseline, hangs. Up and under, no good.
John takes his time. Plays it back to Charles. John gets it back. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Regis, a long two-pointer. Missed, but Charles gets the rebound and is fouled. He's going to take a trip to the free throw line to make it a 3-point lead.
This is what I'm talking about with tournament basketball. We know who stepped up yesterday, who's going to step up today. In the last 2 plays, it's been Charles. Not a primary offensive threat, but he's in the right place at the right time, and boy, is he tough. Does well to finish off the free throw there.
I'm impressed by the free throw shooting of Grenada. Can you check the percentages of their free throws compared to Saint Lucia?
66% for Saint Lucia, 72% for Grenada.
72%.
Yeah, that's right up there in the pretty decent zone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a team.
Calderon finds Polius. Oh, blocked, but a lot of contact by Regis.
I'm going to live with that one. Number one, there was a lot of ball on that. It was a questionable call. Number 2, Regis still stayed in the play, even though Polius got there. Even though Regis was late, he's going to make Polius work for it right now. But Polius, a decent three-point shooter, a decent shooter from outside, probably means he's a pretty good free throw shooter as well.
And that's the fourth foul on Regis. With little less than 4 minutes to go in this match, or let's say in this fourth quarter.
Grenada with a 2-point lead here over St. Lucia.
their
Neither
biggest lead of the night.
Yeah, neither team is really dominated. Good job by Regis to reel it in. And Dermerville with the heads-up play steals the ball and then throws it off the leg of Regis. Regis is frustrated right now. I think Grenada just needs to calm down. That's the other thing with a young team. You can't get too flustered. Yeah, it's not your ball, but worse things have happened, and now they get it back. Exactly. Take the game play by play. Don't get too caught up in the mistakes that have been made. Not a good angle there by Cox. Tried to force it into Regis.
And especially in this part of the game, you need to keep your head cool. Grenada to John.
And that's a bad foul by Dermerville. That's a real bad foul by Dermerville. Very unnecessary. I don't even think he thought that he could get that ball, but he still went for it. And I don't care what country you're in. I don't care if the lights are out and we can't see. That's going to be a foul every time.
Sends John to the line.
These are the moments you have to love, though, Dion. These are the moments that show you what kind of basketball player you are. Can you keep a cool head? For Grenada right now, they don't need to sacrifice fundamentals just to be very active and energetic. Control your energy, rely on your fundamentals, and you'll be fine.
John hits 1 and 2, make it a 3-point game. John has 7 points in the night.
Good pressure here by Grenada. Cox is so active.
Dermerville
back to Lewison. Dermerville gets it. They need to get the ball to Dennis. They really do. Nice hesitation dribble. Fakes, drives. That's short. Inside is Calderon.
Surrounded by Regis and Charles.
Still nothing easy for Saint Lucia. Dermerville testing the defense. Paul will come into the game now, so we're going to get some Twin Towers action here for Saint Lucia as he replaces Polius. Polius hit some crucial shots today. I wouldn't say he was an X factor, but he did a good job, particularly on defense. He was very active. Dynamic style of play, inside, outside.
Calderon misses the first free throw. And the captain of Saint Lucia needs to concentrate to make the second one, and he does. 7 points for Calderon.
In sports, sometimes there's a little thing called destiny, and when you lose a heartbreaker last night and come back to play today, you would say that destiny is on your favor. But I'm not buying it because this Saint Lucia team is very good and very well composed.
Yeah, but it may be destined that Grenada, yeah, let's not say it. They're destined to play these tight matches at the end of the game. Jonathan Williams, having a tough night.
He's having a tough night, but he stays active. And I think right now you want to keep the ball in his hands. Also Cox. And if you're one of the big people right now for Grenada, Regis or Charles, you want to set good screens down low, try to free each other up.
23 points yesterday, 13 points in his first game, as he scores point number 9 today.
I'm so impressed with him. Also, after the first game for Grenada against Suriname, Williams went down with what looked to be a very serious injury at the end of the fourth quarter, close to the end of the fourth quarter. It doesn't seem to be affecting him. He's got it pretty heavily bandaged up, but the way he went down and he was even stretchered off the court, you know, that takes a lot of heart. That says a lot about the player that he is, to come back and play through pain. Risky pass, Dermerville tracks it down. He wanted a foul. The official says no. It'll still be Saint Lucia ball. Almost 3 minutes left to play here.
Drummerfield to Dennis. Dennis has been quiet this quarter.
At this point in the game, don't rely on the officials. Don't think the officials are going to bail you out. Play clean basketball. Dermerville in the corner. He's not afraid. Continues to be off, though. Calderon almost tracks it down. Here comes Regis. Oh, and Dermerville may have hit Regis there on the floor. Let's see if we see the replay. Dermerville did push him from behind. He was competing for the ball, so we could make the argument there, but then he threw a little bit of a fist as both players rolled around on the floor. The official may have missed it.
It's gonna be Regis who's gonna take 2 free throws. It's a 4-point game. The biggest lead Grenada has had in this match. You can bring it up to 6.
Both teams have shot particularly well in this game. For Saint Lucia, 48% shooting. For Grenada, 45%. Those are winning percentages, and that's why this game is so very close right now.
Misses his first free throw.
These are big free throws right here. Regis usually clutch from the free throw line. Knocks down the second one. Dennis with it. It's been a while since he got the ball. Dennis with it again. Nice little pass. Good job by Paul to get that. Great court vision there from Dennis. Right when they need him, right on cue.
Pretty pass by Dennis. His second time. He got Drummerfield open the possession before this one.
Ball bouncing around. Regis keeps it alive, gets it to Cox. He'll pull it out. Nice patience there. Cox will have the opportunity to step into it. One-handed pass to Charles, and it's our man Charles again.
But nice pass by Cox. Got up there high and laid it off to Charles.
Preville tries to bank it. Paul with the inside position, and he finishes.
Paul has 13 points.
You have got to box out. We're under 2 minutes left to play. 70-67 is your score. Grenada with a lead. Grenada looking for a win. Both teams winless so far in this one.
John, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Gets it to Regis. Thought about it.
That's a good call by the official. And there you have a situation where a double team, and it might have been good defense, but the third guy comes in and commits a foul. They bail out Grenada, and they put a good free throw shooter to the line.
With 1 minute and 31 seconds to go. Important free throws coming up for Regis.
The little thing's so important right now. If you're going to triple team a guy, he's got nowhere to go.
With 2 seconds left.
Yeah, keep your hands straight up. Situational awareness. Not just of the shot clock, but also of the situation that you put that player in. He's already double teamed. No need to come in and reach. Don't get greedy with it. Don't put your hand in the cookie jar, because Mama's going to catch you, especially at the end of the game.
Regis missed his first one. Misses both. Three-point lead for Grenada. Dennis.
Great job by Dennis to keep his dribble alive. Now he's a little bit open. I love the ball handling. I love the composure. Great pass into Paul, and he finishes.
What a play by Dennis.
Dennis is fired up. They need to run everything through him. And right now, Grenada with no answers for Paul as he continues to have his way inside.
Important possession for Grenada, leading by 1 point.
Under a minute left to play. Cox with it, thinks about it. Who will be the young player that steps up right now? Someone's going to have to take a shot. 4 on the shot clock. It's Cox!
Oh!
And he knocks it down.
What a shot by Cox under pressure. Wanted the ball. Asked for it and knew exactly what he was going to do with it.
2 possession game, steal by John. Rare mistake there by Dennis, but he gets it back. Plenty of time right now. Plenty of time. St. Lucia got away with one there. What will Dennis do? What can he pull out of his hat? What can he pull out of his bag of tricks? He's double teamed. Oh boy, that may have been tapped away. It wasn't. It wasn't. Tough break there for Dennis. Still though, 28.9 left to play. It's a 2-possession game. In basketball time, this is a lot of time. Don't count out the St. Lucia team.
But Dennis is going to be disappointed about that last play.
He will be, but he won't get hung up on it. There he is talking to the official. I don't think he was asking for a phone number. If he is, it's because he wants to talk about the missed calls in this game, or what he perceived to be the missed calls. In this one, I think the officials did a really good job.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of no calls that were pretty good. Yeah, actually, I always say if you don't know who the officials were, then they did a good job. They don't need to draw attention to themselves.
No, exactly. That's a great point.
So if you don't know who it is, or if the focus isn't on the officials, they did a pretty good job.
This thing is far from over, but let's give early kudos to both teams. This is a very competitive game. I'm not here at this tournament to watch lopsided games. I'm here to watch competition at a very, very high level. And anybody that's sleeping on the Caribbean and the style of basketball they play, you need to wake up. You've got NBA G League scouts here. We've got NBA assistant coaches here. We've got high-level college coaches. One of the players from Guyana was scouted by Baylor yesterday and received an offer from them. This is high-level basketball. 20 seconds left. St. Lucia doesn't want to foul yet. 12 on the shot clock. Cox will take his time. 8 on the shot clock. Dennis comes out to meet him. Pull-up jumper. Good job by Dennis. That was great defense. St. Lucia needs to score. That's a bad pass. Paul tries to track it down. No, that's Calderon. He does. Lewiston loses it. And that'll be the end of the game. Destiny on the side of Grenada. Dion, any thoughts?
Team Grenada.
Yeah, exactly what you said. They worked very, very hard yesterday. Got 3 very pressureful free throws to go. They lost a heartbreaker against Suriname, and they were trailing the whole match today. It's in the 4th quarter that they came back, and they're the deserving winners of today's match. Grenada winning by 4 points. Very big win by Grenada.
Like I said, destiny on the side of Grenada. Destiny on the side of Grenada. To come out tonight, or today actually, 12 hours after they lost a last-second heartbreaker to Suriname, to come out and play so hard. That doesn't just tell you about how great you are as a team. That tells you how great you are as an individual. These are lessons you can bring into real life.
Yeah, they don't have any time to recover from the match yesterday. They were leading the way almost the whole match against Suriname. They lost it. Exactly the opposite today. They were trailing the whole match against Saint Lucia and won it. So I think they'll be happy about themselves after this match.
Tough break for St. Lucia. I have a lot of respect for their coach.